This is Bishop Samuel Blakes, and you're listening to Real Talk with Mary J.
Happy Merry Monday, everybody. You're listening to Real Talk with Mary J. Real Talk with Mary J is a social outlet for a positive outcome, and we're so excited that you're sharing with us on tonight. I have a powerful show for you guys on tonight. We're going to be going live from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So just get in where you fit in. But we've been talking about strong men need strength. We've been honoring men all month long for the month of June. Yes, that's right. This is Men's Month. We talked about men of honor, and on today, we're going to talk about where are all the good men? Because I'm often asked the question, Mary J, where are all the good men? I want you to sit back and relax. Why don't you share this episode with your family and friends? Share it on your page and in your groups, because I have some good men that are coming before you on tonight. I want to welcome my special guest on the show with me tonight. Let's welcome my guest, these good men sharing with us on tonight. Welcome, men. Welcome, men. Welcome, Josh and PJ. Welcome to Real Talk with Mary J. How are you guys on tonight?
Hello there.
How are you guys on
Yeah,
tonight? Welcome.
we're doing fine. How's it going, Mary J?
I am good. How are you, Josh? You're unmuted now. Can you hear me, Josh? Let me know if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, go back out and come back in. I can hear you now. Say something, Josh. Okay, go back out and come back in. Good evening, Monique. Happy Merry Monday, Allison. Happy Merry Monday, everybody. Okay, Josh is PJ. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Josh is saying he has no audio. I know his mic should be back on now. Josh, try to exit out and come back in. If you can't hear me, let me just type it in the chat for you really quickly. I think we lost connection with Josh when we started live, but we were able to hear him just a few minutes ago. So he's gotten the message. He's going to come back into the studio. But listen, guys, I am excited to have you both on sharing with us on this episode of Where Are All the Good Men. I am privileged to have my boy, my son, my one and only, my beloved, and whom I am well pleased, my son PJ, sharing with us on tonight, and then my good friend's son and Josh is here. Josh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, Josh is here, guys. So thank you for coming on, Josh. We're so happy to have you sharing with us. So while we're here on today, before we get started, just tell our audience who you are, where you from, what you do, and just a little bit of interest that you might have. We'll go with you first, Josh, since you're already on the screen.
All right. Well, hello everyone, and thank you, Mary J, for having me on. I'm honored to be here. Such a gift. Um, yeah. So my name is Joshua, and I'm originally from the DMV, born in Virginia, raised in Baltimore, and I currently reside in Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm an independent contractor. I do various different things. but my interests are business networking, social networking. Very much into music. That's my biggest passion. And
Yes.
Very
Awesome.
interesting.
Awesome, Josh. PJ, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do as well?
Yeah, sure, no problem, Mary J. Hello, everybody. My name is Philip Johnson, but most of you know me as PJ. I am 27 years old. I'm a native in New Orleans. Uh, um, but day to day, I am a data analyst, and but both my days off, I'm adventurous. I enjoy art and going out seeing movies, and I enjoy acting and writing short films. It's a hobby of mine. I enjoy reviewing. I'm sorry, I enjoy reviewing movies as well, and doing my own stunts. I also enjoy cooking, music, outdoors activities, etc., etc. I'm everywhere.
Yes. Okay. Great, PJ. Listen, I'm so happy to have both of you um, men on the show. Single men, single men. Josh, I believe you are 37. Am I right?
yes, 37 and single as well.
37, and PJ is 27 and singles. Okay, so I have a variety because I keep hearing, where are all the good men? And I'm gonna tell you guys, I selected you all to be a part of this show on today, first of all, because I believe that you are good men. You both are men of integrity. You know, you both are men that are well rounded, very respectable, very honorable men. And just all of what you already do and give. You know, I know for one, my son is such a gentleman. And I met Josh from my good girlfriend Allison in Baltimore, and he is such a gentleman as well. So when I hear women ask the question, "Where are all the good men?" I'm wondering where they are. Where are you, ladies? Because there are some good men out there. I see your mom is on here saying, "Hi, Josh. Hi, PJ."
What's up,
And
Mom?
Craig is watching too. Okay.
Hey,
So
Craig.
yeah, so we're so happy to have them as well. But we know that we have some really good men all across the board. We're going to have some more good men coming on right at the end of this segment when you guys exit the stage. But I just wanted to come and bring that forward. So before we go into this conversation, guys, I want you to think about, as it relates to good men, some of the qualities that you would find in good men. What do you think those qualities that you have that will really characterize you as a good man? What are some of the character traits you think are qualities when you find women looking for good men? Whoever want to start first? Not
Uh,
I'll go
all at the
ahead.
same
Yeah,
time.
I'll
Okay,
start.
yeah,
go
Um,
ahead, Josh.
yeah, so I think, in my experience, what I've what so what a good man to me means, and I since you invited me, I've been, reflecting on that question a lot, like
Yes,
how does that apply to me? And I think a couple of things. I think presence, as far as like, it doesn't need to be an overwhelming presence either. It just needs to be one that's aware, and I think presence, awareness, and strength and kindness. Those are a few things that come to mind, and not just necessarily physical strength either, or anything in that nature. Just because I think there's a lot of strength in vulnerability as well.
that's
Um,
right, Josh.
yeah, yeah,
but
Absolutely.
true.
honesty and integrity. Yeah, those are some of the words I think of as what a good man would be.
Honesty, integrity, strength, all of those are great qualities of a good man. And Josh, and I just want to ponder on that just a moment because that is one of the reasons why I did say that I invited you to come on because I found those characteristics in you as well. One that is integral, right? One that is strong. I see, even as it relates to you being a single man, how you help your mom, how you support your mom, how you help your mom build. I saw on social media at one time you all was building a shed together, doing some things together. All of those are good qualities. Those are good character traits that women look for when finding a good man. At least it should be. If they're not looking for a visionary, somebody that can lead, somebody that's a helper. And I always say, when a woman is looking for a good man, really watch how her son treats his mom, right? Watch how men treat their mothers, ladies. Watch how they interact with their sister and their family. See what they do, and how they engage in family unions. So that's definitely good, Josh. Very good. PJ, what are some of the traits
Um,
that you might find that you think that would bring about a presence in a good man? Some qualities.
I guess for me, just for, I mean, like, traits of a good man is what I would also see, like, in a good woman is, just a personality. Just, like, just personality, just tells like a lot about themselves. I know it's not the first thing we looked at. I mean, the first thing we look for when we see a man is, it's like, the looks. That's what, that's the first thing
Yeah,
that a woman, would pay
yeah,
attention at first to see. Then comes to like how the person is dressed, and then after that is like the personality. So, like it really depends like on how you like on how like it really like it really just depends on how you like present yourself. Like what's the first um like what's the first thing like a woman like glance capture. Like example, like when you look at like a art or like a movie poster or something like that, you like the first thing that catch your eye and you have interest and you want to see, see more and know more about that. For me, like a good man, I mean, personally, what personally for me that I can relate to is just by, um, is just by, just by like, just by being like outgoing and just, thriving on themselves. Um, like what they like for example, like I apologize if you hear noise in the background, but like um I would say like just like um like like I would say again like how do they how do they like go about like their everyday lives like and like go back to personality like are you like are you outgoing, are you nice, you friendly, or you are kind of deep and mysterious and like a lot of women have like different curiosity on a person.
well, let's
Like,
talk about that, PJ, because I know some of those experiences too that you had. Now we're going to start off with what you said in the beginning, the way
mhm,
the person present themselves. That's the first thing
yeah,
that women see, right? That's the
right,
physicality. That's where the attraction starts. That's what you see, how well dressed that person is, how they present themselves, how well rounded they are, and outgoing, because you have to get out and go to meet people. But I find that even with that, there are some women who sometimes can come across as shallow, that are just looking for the package until they get to know that person. And when that
yeah,
person not is not about showing them the world, giving it all to them, because I heard this before. This is a true story. There was a young man that met a young lady by way of networking. She went out with this young man. They had a really good time on the date. And at dinner, he took her to the finest restaurant. And she began to ask what he did. Now, watch this, Josh and PJ. The young man said, "Oh, um, he said, I'm just a maintenance guy." And she was like, "A maintenance guy? Is that's what you are? That's all, a maintenance guy?" And so her shallow thinking, she felt like this person that she was having a good time with, that she was already attractive to, that was well dressed, that brought her to a really nice restaurant. When she found out what he did, she was no longer attracted. Okay. And so the day did not end well. She pretty much told him not to call her again. There won't be a second date. And we can just go our separate ways. Fast forward, she did some research on him and found out that he was not only the maintenance guy, but he was the director in operation of the maintenance company, which is a high tech company. Okay. And so that's why I say to women all the time, there are some really good men, but what are the women really looking for? And I think, PJ, you were summing it up by saying, they look for the dress, they look for someone, that is well put together, that's out there. They look for someone that they're attracted to, but what are the qualities that they really should be looking for? I believe they should look for somebody with a vision, somebody that knows where they're going, know what they're looking for, right?
Mhm.
And don't mind the sirens, PJ. It's fine because I know you live downtown and we're in New Orleans. All right, so I know how that is when I
Again,
used to do my
I
live.
apologize,
No,
everybody.
you don't have to. You don't have to. I know how it is when I used to do my lives downtown too. Um, and so that's some of the things. First, a visionary, right? Have to be looking for a visionary, someone that has a vision, that knows what they want to do or have an idea of what they would like to do and where they're going. Now, we don't always know how we're going to get there, right? But at least we have a sound vision. And then secondly, somebody that now, well, not secondly, I'm gonna say this in the spirit realm, but first, somebody that loves God, you know that loves God, that has a relationship with God. Now, I'm not saying somebody that's perfect, but somebody that loves God, because this is what I tell women all the time. When you find a man that loves God, you'll find a man that loves you. Too many times women are looking for men to love them and they don't even love them. A lot of times they don't
Right.
even know who they are. They're still searching, trying to figure out who they are, and they want the man to give everything to them, and they don't even have it yet.
Mm.
And so you look for somebody that loves God, because I tell women all the time, I ask women this question: what is some of the things that you believe that you bring to the table? Now, I know I get a lot of darts about that, women bringing stuff to the table. So let's just say this, because we know we've heard about these tables, right? We can bring a whole lot of stuff to the table that's not supposed to be on the table, okay? But what we're talking about is that, what do you have to offer? What qualities do you have, right? And so when I ask this question to women, they weren't sure of the answer. When I asked women, what is the number one thing that you can give to a man, they were not sure. I'm going to ask you guys that on tonight, put you on the spot. What is one thing that you would want a woman to bring to you? One thing that you would want from a woman. I'm gonna start with you,
Well,
PJ. Yeah, since Josh went first
sure.
before.
Okay, I got you. Well, for me, um, that's actually a good question. For me, I mean, I don't know, like say, for the other guys, for me, one of my difficulties is just gaining like a long-lasting friendship, I would say, for me personally. I mean, like there are people that I know growing up from elementary, middle school, high school, and to this day, I'm not like anywhere, in touch with them. I don't know, most people still have friends that they know from middle school or high school, probably at least one or two. Me, I don't have none, you know. I mean, like, it's okay. I mean, because like, I'm moving on with my life and stuff like that. I have other things to do. I'm trying to I'm trying to get, I'm ahead in life. So, so basically me growing up, I always been, independent. But I mean, but there are times that I do, wish I had someone, to spend time and hang out with and stuff like that. I mean, it could be anybody, really. I mean, like, I'm perfectly happy, with my situation where I am right now. I mean, I hang out with, with you, mom, and, my sisters and my nephews, and I'm blessed, for that. Mostly,
You saying friendship. You saying
yeah,
friendship, right?
right, right, right,
So
right. Not,
so in most cases, there oftentimes that women are not really taking the time out to get to know a person to become friends, first
that's
of
right.
all.
Well, I feel like like, you got to build a relationship, a bond first. You can't just go ahead and just rush everything. You got to take time to know a person,
Right.
to develop feelings, friendship. Um, I mean, like you're not gonna find the perfect one on a first date. It literally takes up at least like 5, 7 dates, stuff like that, depending, like, if you feel comfortable, or or like the 10th or the 12th date, you know, depending
To
on
get to know the
how it is.
person.
Yeah, to get to know a person.
Right.
And
So
usually from that time, people, are usually, like busy with their day-to-day in life. I mean, I'm not saying you should date like every day, because, like, I mean, it's kind of physically impossible, because, like, a situation that you guys are working at different jobs, but if you really love this person, you would set a date, stuff like that, and like chat, text or something like that, to get to know more, to get to more of them. There's other ways to go around knowing a person than by
now,
waiting
PJ,
for them to
I
say.
want you to pause right there because we're
Okay.
saying friendship, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of times we don't slow it down enough to get to know the other person to build that friendship, right? Dating
Mhm.
is data, getting to know
That's
that
true.
person, sharing your concepts, your mindset, what it is, the things that you desire in life, getting to know that person. A lot of times we skip over that step. Many
That's true.
people skip over the friendship part, and they get straight into either the intimacy or what you're gonna do for me, or that kind
Yeah.
of thing. And then I know with you being straight edge, I know that has to be a little difficult.
It is very difficult, extremely difficult. I mean, like, I know there are like cheats, like, to get to, like, cheats that get to, like, like the next step. Alcohol being one of them. And I can understand that, because, when people drink, they let their guards down and they feel comfortable. That's the reason why most people do that. Me, I'm not a drinker or a smoker and stuff like that. I just let, like, let it just happen natural. That's it.
So do women find you boring because you don't do these things?
They say they don't, but I know they do. I mean, like, they
Yeah,
say they don't just to
yeah.
be nice.
And
I
let me
know, like,
tell you,
I can read between the lines.
I just had a show last week with Dr. David Banks, and that's one of the things that he said. When we were talking about men of honor, this is what he said. He said, Mary J, men of honor sometimes may come across as boring. And when he said that, that made me really think, what? Wow, never thought of it that way. They come across sometimes as boring. Because this is what he said, because a man of honor does not need fixing. And many times women come wanting to fix and wanting to change the person, but a man of honor doesn't need fixing. Josh, let me hear from you as it relates to what is it something that you feel that you believe that women should look for in a man, and what is it that you think that they will find in you as well?
I think that you know two things. I definitely firmly agree with what you said as far as vision, having a vision. That's definitely one I would add. Like knowing who you want to become and where you want to go, and but also not just where you want to go, but having a firm sense of self, like a sense of who you are as a person, and like that goes into who you want to become in my eyes, because you know I feel like I'm a cooperative component with the divine on where I want to go in my life, and so the more that I spend that time, in that space, that cultivates that, the more stronger I become. Um, yeah, I think just groundedness is what I imagine is what a woman would look for in a man, like someone who's grounded in himself. You know, I'm not too big on like being so attached to what's happening in reality to where it's like distorting your mindset, because mindset is key. But
Right.
but but also being able to be aware enough to have come, because not everyone is going to be on the same exact place. Literally no one's at the same place mentally. So I
Right.
feel like adaptability and the word I'm thinking of is I guess understanding, like as a man that seeks to understand. I think that a woman would definitely want a man that seeks to understand first than to be understood.
Oh, wow. That's good,
Yeah.
Josh. That's really good. A man will want a woman that will seek to understand rather than to be understood. That's good. Because what that says is that um you're open to reasoning, right?
Mhm.
You're open to compromise. And that doesn't mean that you have to lower your standard. That means that you just have to be able to understand what is that that person would want from you. Because
Yeah.
this is what I find too. So many times we give away what we want, right? We
Mhm.
give away what we want. We don't take time out to see what that other person interest is, what that other person values are, what is it that they like. We give away what we want. Case in point, I'm giving an example. Me being a woman, I love surprises. Love them. You can surprise me anytime you want. I'm not gonna ask any questions. I'm not gonna even try to figure it out. I'm not gonna go sneaking and peeking, trying to see what you have. Surprise me, baby. Surprise me. Okay. But then on the other hand, I might want to surprise you. And you may hate surprises. You may not like being surprised. You don't want
Yeah.
anybody to put a party together for you and invite people that you really don't care for to be around, and you might hate the surprise. But me, I might think it's a great idea that I'm doing this for you, and at the end of the day, who did I really satisfy, me or you?
Hmm.
I really satisfied myself with doing all of this. This was not for you. It was really for me because I get gratification in doing this. So just not what you said, seek to understand, you know, rather than being understood. That's a good point, Josh. That's a really good point. Love it, love it. So as it relates to what men really want. We talk a lot about what men want. Now we think men want sex, and we think men want sex all the time, all day long. That's what we think. And there now, when I say we, I'm speaking of women all over the world, from all walks of life. I'm not just speaking from a certain group of women, because we know that that's something that men are created with. That's what God has put in you. But is it that we give what we think you want as a quality woman? No, absolutely not. Because then we give away our self-worth, our self-value. As PJ said, first, I don't even know you like that, right?
Yeah.
First, you got to
Right.
get to even know the person. And that's why I have you all from these two age groups, 20s, 30s. I have somebody come on 40s, 50s. We're going to talk about this from all angles, because there's some women that are young women that I find now, especially in this new age with social media and technology, that are surfing the net, going out on dates because they know that the man will buy them whatever first impression, a good date, a steak dinner, a movie, or whatever they like, concert tickets, the most expensive seat. Just swiping left, right, and then
Yeah.
go on that date, and then they swipe left again the next week because they want another date with somebody else. And then you find that you're overlooking good quality men because you're too busy searching for things and dates and tickets and movies and dinners. And so we don't take enough time to really settle down to get to know who the person is. Just as I stated to you before, the young man had a wonderful time, an expensive dinner, paid for everything, well versed, well cultured, well rounded. But he said, I'm a maintenance guy. And she thought, I don't want a maintenance guy. Not realizing that she missed out on a great opportunity to find, to get to know someone that could have really been a good person for her. But when I see Josh and PJ, when we have people that would do that don't do their homework, that don't really get to know that person, that judges that person based on what they do, what they wear, what they drive, shallow, shallow, shallow. um I really count it a blessing though, because oftentimes you'll find yourself giving too much too soon to the wrong person. You follow me?
Yeah.
And so when you do that, you give too much away too soon to the wrong person, and you don't have that kind of time to waste that time. And listen what Allison says. She loved the hat, gentlemen.
Hey, thank you.
Maybe.
Yeah. So you guys, so what are some of the things that you believe as it relates to a visionary, as it relates to a man with strong qualities, as it relates to men that know where they're going, right? That have good characteristic traits. That what are some of the things that you believe that will cause a relationship to last after getting to know that person? What will cause the relationship to last?
Mm.
What do you believe will cause it to last?
Well, I guess I would say just like communicating, I guess. Let them know that, like like the men letting the women know that they're listening. They, I feel like, because, like you can go on, like like you said before, you can go like, on any type of date and just swipe, stuff like that, just good for me and stuff like that. I guess it just, you know, depends like how I guess it depends on how good of a listener, they are. Really though.
That's good. Communication would cause the relationship to last.
Yeah.
That's good.
I believe that like strongly. Um, you can, you can, you can do all these amazing things and stuff here and there and there and there, but that could just be, that could just be for like just one night, and then they go on to the next guy and stuff like that. I mean, and really though, I mean, like, and this certain pattern where like a girl asks a guy, like a girl will ask a guy, about themselves, and then they start bragging and stuff like that, talking about all these achievements and and stuff, that
Oh
they
my
do and stuff like that,
gosh.
and they think that the girl, is into that. I mean, sometimes it's true and stuff like that, but they don't want it all to be about him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
They
son.
like a return.
Yeah. I actually went on a date like that with somebody that used to like me years ago when we were like teenagers. And he ran into me and he had been wanting to go out and wanting to go out. And so finally, I decided one day that I said, okay, I'll meet you for lunch, met him for lunch. And when I tell you, he talked about all of the things, it looked like he was trying to catch up from junior high school to adult, all the things he's done, what he would do for me. I won't have to work ever. Really good. I mean, really good things. I get it. But how did I never said I didn't want to work. And you understand what I'm saying? I love the qualities he had. And what woman would want to work if a man is going to take care of you? But when it comes to a person knowing their purpose, knowing what they want to do. And when I tell you I was bored sitting there listening to him talk about himself the entire night, I really was. I sat there the whole time listening to him tell me how much he making. He has a boat and he has this car and he has a motorbike and he has a vacation home. And I just sat there like, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So communication is definitely key. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. For one, just for where I'm at in my life, and this is my perspective and where I am, is like one of the two of the biggest things is time appreciation for time, and kind of like and and a hunger to dream and build, and like
Mm,
and also just like those are two things that I think can make or break a relationship. Like if one is, like ambitiously ready to go do something, whereas another isn't. Like it has to be. It does. You can have different passions and hobbies and things like that, but if you don't have a shared vision, like I think that's the most. I think for me, important for me personally, that I think that's top three. Like communication is definitely there, and then vision and then appreciation for time. Like that's a big one for me. Like that's one of my five love languages.
I
Time,
was gonna,
quality time is like big
I
for
was
me.
gonna
I don't
say
like to
that.
waste no time. Mm-hmm.
That's good, Josh. I was gonna say that, and you took the words right out of my mouth. I was getting ready to say that your love language must be quality time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good trait. That's a really good trait because a lot of women, sometimes most women, be looking for that quality time with men, that there isn't enough time, that men are always on the go, or they find themselves busy doing and working and going on to other things. But I tell women all the time, if you can't find a man that's willing to sit with you and sup with you, not just lay with you and stay with you, but to sit with you and sup with you and spend time with you and talk about life, goals, and dreams, so time is important. A man will make time for somebody that he's really interested in, and if he's not interested, he will find all the excuses and reasons not to give that time to her. So that's really good. Quality time is good. Communication is definitely good. And what I find too is respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
when God created man and woman, he said, husband, love your wives, right? That's why I tell women one of the best character traits they should look for is a man that really loves God, because I already know I don't have to worry about you loving me when you love God. I don't have to worry about you not treating me kindly, not treating me like a queen when I know you really love the Lord. Because if you love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, I know you're gonna love me. I know you're gonna treat me well. So women are not looking for love, most of them, at least the ones that I've asked, that wasn't even on their list. I was like, wait, I would have thought that would have been the first thing. I've asked women, I've asked several women. So I'm not speaking for all women across the board. And this is not even a survey of 200 women. So I can't say women are not. But the women that I've talked to, I asked them, what is it that you're looking for in a man? You know what they told me? Most of them, a provider.
Mm.
I can have a provider, but does that mean that he loves me? He can provide, a man can provide for you long distance and not communicate, not give you any time, but send you a check or send someone over to the house to fix it, whatever it is that you get your bills paid. But that's what I hear. I need somebody that's going to provide. Another lady said, I want somebody that's loyal, right? Men can be loyal to their dogs, right? They're loyal to their pets. Some of them are more loyal to their pets than they are the woman. But if you have a man that really loves you, he knows how to treat you. He knows how to speak to you. He knows how to handle you. He knows how to be gentle with you. He knows how to do all of these things. That's why the Bible says, husband, love your wives. And then God went on and said, wives, Honor your husband. Mean respect him. Don't belittle him. Don't try to put him down. Don't talk about him. Don't go telling all your friends about him and, bringing out his weaknesses and his downfalls. Respect him. Honor him.
Mm.
You know, I believe that when a man feels disrespected by the woman that he's connected to or the lady that he's interested in, if he feels disrespected, dishonored, um, that's hard for him to come back from that. Am I right about it, man?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah,
It's hard. It's
totally.
it's it's hard to come back from that. That's why honor and respect is pretty huge. So I'm so glad to have you guys on the show sharing with me tonight. We're talking about strong men need strength. Strong men need strength. Where are all the good men? I believe that we have some good men on the show with us tonight that are sharing with us. We have PJ Johnson, Phil Johnson, my son, my one and only, and Josh, my friend. Josh is my boy. That's my boy. That's my girlfriend, my God friend Allison's son, Josh, all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. And Josh is such a perfect gentleman as well. And so I thank you all for coming on the show. And our ladies are just coming in here. We're going to have our guests going to be coming on with us shortly. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but will you let the ladies in the audience know? I'm not sure if you all are on social media. If you are on social media, where they can go to follow you on social media as well. Josh, are you on social media?
Currently, no. My social media presence is. Yeah, no, not really. I mean, Facebook ish. I mean, you can. I'm Joshua Hall on Facebook. I'm with the sun hat, same thing I got on right here. But you know, yeah, I'm kind of doing other things right now. I'm a little more present in in learning to navigate more in the real world. And not to say that social media is not the real world. That's just my perspective where I'm at right now in my life.
I
Is
get
just
it.
yeah.
Totally. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
I
get
totally
it.
get it. I
Son,
totally get it.
PJ.
I'm at the same thing too. I'm not on social media. I actually took a break from social media from just from just just from being in like a sketchy like relationship and stuff like that. So I'm just taking a break. I'm trying to find myself, reinvent myself, and into like to a more better, positive person. Um, I'm not gonna stay off of social media forever. I will be posting stuff up and getting in contact and stuff like that, and putting out my work and my vision out there. Just for the time being, I'm not active on social media.
You're not active
Yeah,
on social media. Well,
yeah.
thank
I
you,
apologize.
gentlemen, for coming on the show with me. I hope you had a happy Merry Monday today. My guest for the
Thank
hour is here now,
Yeah.
Mr. Leon Walker. You'll be able to hear a lot more about him, and you all are welcome to stay behind stage and listen in, or you can follow up with the show following after. So, thank you for having a Merry Monday with me, Men of Honor. We're so glad to have you. And the question was and still is to remain. We already see now, we know now, where are all the good men? We see where you are. I know where you are. You're not on this social media. You already said that. So you're looking to better and bigger things. I love the fact that you all both are visionaries, that you all are men of integrity, you're men of loyalty, very respectful men. And just thank you for coming on and sharing with us. So have a happy Merry Monday. You all can dismiss. Thank you
All
for
right.
coming on.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Have
you.
a blessed
Happy
day. Take care.
All right, where is Mr. Leon Walker sharing with us today? He said that he is here. Hold on one second so I can bring him up on the air with us today. My special guest, Mr. Leon Walker. We have our comments. Yeah, it is nice to see young men of substance here sharing with us. Very nice to see that. Very nice to see that. So, ladies, if you don't mind, even in the chat, you can let me know. What are some of the qualities that you're looking for in a man when you say there aren't any good men? There aren't any good men. I'm interested to know why you say that, and where have you been looking, or what platform or what area of social networking that you've been doing to seek a good man. Okay, so that's the question. Where are all the good men on today? We're looking for to find out. I'm looking for also my guest. I'm not sure what happened with him as it relates to coming on. He was here just a moment ago. Let's see where he is. Let's see where he is. Okay, he's backstage. Allison, what you said, I found my husband Craig on eHarmony. Go ahead, Allison. There are some good men there as well. I'm communicating with my guests backstage as well. Okay. Just a moment, you guys stand by. Okay. Stand by, you guys, one moment. I just had my guest here. Let me see if I can get him back on. Okay. All right. While my guest is coming back into the show, we're going to continue on until he comes on, you guys. We're talking about men of honor, strong men need strength. And on tonight, we're talking about where are all the good men. Anthony says, Mary, good men do exist. They just may not be good enough for the particular lady at the time and may never be good enough. But does that mean that he's not a good man? I get it. I get it, Anthony. Absolutely. That does not mean that he's not a good man. He may not be the man that is needed for that particular woman. Maybe he's good, but good for someone else. And, that's okay. And I was just saying that just a few minutes ago. Sometimes we disqualify men because they don't meet our criteria, but they may meet someone else's. So, I always say, who's suitable for you? So, who is suitable for you? That's what matters. That's what really matters. My guest is here sharing with us now. He's backstage. Let me bring him up. Hi, Leon.
What's up, Mary? How you doing? I'm sorry. I was on
You
watching
were
the
on
other two young
Facebook
men.
watching. Yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Good. Good. I'm so happy to have you. Love having you to share on the show as usual. You always bring a lot of good substance and value to the show. And I know that this was a topic that I had to bring you on to discuss, Leon, because so many women ask the question, where are all the good men? And so
Right.
what I've been hearing is I've heard a woman say, Mary J, there aren't any really good men out there. And what they have left is not, it's slim pickings. There's not many to choose from. And and I was a little bit, perturbed by that comment, because I believe that when women really say there aren't any good men, I'm not sure what place does that come from. If there aren't any good men, then are you saying that there's no man that's good enough for you, or there's no man that you'll ever be with? And so let's talk about that subject on today, Leon, if you don't mind. I want you to, before we get started into the show, we know we've been on with our younger men. I have men coming on from different age groups, 27, 37. We had my son come on, PJ Jr., was just on a little bit ago. And also we had Josh, and Josh came on, Josh Hall, all the way from Arizona. And so, Leon, will you let the people know where you from, who you are, and what you do?
Okay. First of all, I would like to say that I am on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And I heard those two young men. They were like, "I'm out of Facebook. I mean, I'm not on social media." I'm like, but anyway, I'm on social media.
Right. So
Leon R.
everybody,
Walker Jr. You can find me everywhere. You can Google me. I'm in Google. I'm an author. I have 3 books out. I served 32 years in the Navy. I'm diagnosed with narcissism personality disorder. I've had my therapy. I have extreme severe PTSD, depression. I got a bunch of stuff. I was married for 12 years. I've been divorced for 16 years. I have 3 kids, four godchildren, and 1 granddaughter now. I have a dog. I love comedy. I love helping people. I love eating great food. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I live in Chicago. And here I am now to help talk about and say where all the good men are.
yeah. Where are all the good men? So Leon, I'm about to dive in
Let's do
really
it.
fast, really deep, especially with this conversation. Narcissists, all of the things that you have been through, all the things that you have experienced, and now we're talking about where are all the good men. First of all, I want to tell you how much I just appreciate all of the valuable content that you bring to social media
Thank you.
across the globe to women. Not only that you have experienced some things in life, that you have gone through some things in your past, you talk about it, you're very transparent, and you're letting women know what is it that they need to look for and what is it that they need to look out for, right?
Right.
So you send all of the red flags out there, you let us know what those traits are and how to identify them. And
Mhm.
so thank you so much, because I believe that you're empowering women across the globe, Leon,
I do
with
my
your
best.
story. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing a great job. You're doing
Thank
a
you.
great job with it. And so
So
now when we're talking about where are the good men, Leon, what is it that you have to say about that? That's
so
the question.
the problem is we've been saying there are no good men, there are no good women, right? We've been saying that
Mhm.
for, let's say, 50 years. What about where are the men that understand? Okay, where are the women that understand? We don't ask that question. So me, I understand now at age 58. I'm about to be 58. I understood years ago, but I was very arrogant, conceited, self-centered, and cocky. So getting women were easy for me, but I couldn't keep them because I didn't want to keep them. I was a
Mhm.
big time discarder. I was a big time ghoster. I would give the silent treatment. I would lie. I was a big cheater. And so, where are all the understanding men? When you get a person that's successful, whether it's an entertainer, an athlete, a military man like myself, established, making 6 figures, good looking guy, decent looking guy, whatever, cute, handsome, sexy, whatever y'all call us, that creates a problem. And for me, because I'm narcissistic, I didn't understand that I wasn't a man that understood how to treat a woman because I can get them, and I had them plentiful, and I was very promiscuous and I was very addicted to women. So where are all the understanding men? The thing about it is that when you get a man, when you get the people that are considered high value, right? That
Mhm.
has a network, that has a net worth. I had those things. I was making $120,000 a year in the Navy. I was in shape, well groomed, have my own apartment, own car, own benefits, a great credit score. But I didn't understand women. I just understood women behind closed doors sexually. I understood women out at the clubs, at the restaurants, at the bars to flirt with. I didn't understand love and empathy. I didn't understand commitment. So where are all the understanding men at? Because you first, if you understand a woman, her needs, wants, and desires, you can tailor your life and lifestyle to hers if you understand. I didn't understand women. I didn't want to understand what women needed. I understood women from a sexual aspect because I looked at women as toys because I was molested as a child by women. I was touched by a man. I lost my virginity to a woman. I was shown porn by a male. And so I became very outlandish, very overbearing, and very promiscuous. And I saw women as toys and objects, sex objects only. So I didn't understand women. And I lost my mom 3 times. When I was 11, we lost our house. When I was 17, 18, somewhere there when she started smoking crack. And when I was in my 40s when she passed away. So I didn't have that connection to a woman's needs, a woman's nurturing, a woman's requirements. I was chauvinistic. So the understanding men is where are those men at? A lot of them are here, but because they don't get therapy, they don't know that they may be
That's good. That's
narcissistic. They don't know that they may be a sociopath or psychopath. They don't understand because black men avoid therapy. And if you avoid therapy, you avoid someone helping you reach back to your childhood and understand why are you sleeping with so many women? Why are you verbally abusive? Why are you a cheater? Why do you ghost women? Why do you give them the silent treatment? Again, where are the understanding men at? And once you start understanding, now you can become a good man. I'm ready. God may keep me single. I may die alone, Mary J.
yeah.
But I'm a good man now because I understand Leon and why Leon was the way that he was from age 15 to 46. I started therapy at 46. We understand too late in the game. And then we're old and sick and in a wheelchair and in a nursing home. It's too late. We got to start educating these young men early on. So
Definitely.
that's a good question. Where the good men at, but where are the understanding men at?
Where are the understanding men? That's really good, Leon. Talking about all of the things, all of the obstacles and the stuff that you've already experienced in life, the things that you have gone through, and our reality, the things that we have experienced in the past really shapes us into
Right.
being who we are today. A lot of people don't want to really, take a hold of that and see that for what it is, and that can be good, bad, or ugly, because on one hand you can have somebody, as you said, the things that you've experienced, what you saw as a child coming up, being exposed to some things too soon, shaped you into becoming that person.
Mm-hmm.
Another person can be shaped. Give you another example. A young lady can come up seeing her mom. Now watch this. This is a whole different dynamic. Seeing her mom just cater to a man, serve a man, right? Just wait on him hand and foot, and seeing all of what she gives and what she does from afar, and then she can have that young girl watching that, seeing that, and not having the father to be there presently, but to have an absent father figure and figure, well, my mom's is a doormat. My mom worked like a slave for my dad. I'm never going to do that for no man. I'm not, and that shapes her reality as well. So it's a whole lot different dynamics of all of that that helps to develop our paradigm, right? And
Right.
when our paradigm begins to put all of those people, it's like a Rubik's cube, it just start putting those pieces in place, and it locks and it fits, and then you become that person or act out that particular thing. But you're saying that you were not an understanding man, but yet you hear clinically diagnosed as a narcissist, but empowering other women, encouraging other women, helping to motivate other women, and telling them those red flags, what to look for, what to stay away from, and how do you do all of that, and why do you do that?
Right.
Why
So
do
great
you do
question.
that?
So great question, Mary. So what happened to me was I understand spirituality. There's
Mm-hmm.
that word again, understanding, right?
Yeah.
Before I understood spirituality, I wasn't a good person. I was a decent little happy, loving, caring little kid, and my mother introduced me to God as a kid. I chose to go to a separate path. I could have chose to become an empath, but the path I chose didn't have a name for it. I enjoyed being evil and demonic as a little boy. It just never went away because I didn't want it to go away. But I knew God always had me. Although I was derailed by two males and four females as a kid, I still knew God had me. So
Mm-hmm.
I've always had spiritual women in my life. I broke their hearts. I cheated on them. I misused them. I abused them. And they would say, Leon, it's okay, but it wasn't okay. But they knew, Mary J. They knew that I was damaged. They knew that I was injured. They knew that I was hurt. They knew that I didn't mean to do those things. That's why I tell people that narcissistic people, you don't just mean to hurt people, but you hurt people because you hurt. They say
Right.
hurt people, but now it's like heal people, heal people. And so
Yeah.
I was always taught by a few women about the Bible and about God, about spirituality. The only reason why I'm doing these videos now is because my ex-girlfriend 2 years ago was very spiritual, and she said, Leon, Big Brother said you need to start doing videos. She called God my big brother. She said, I know you covered. She told me, she said, I know you covered. You hurt me, but I know. And so she extended an olive branch to me. And
Wow.
so, yeah, and so 2 years straight, Mary J. I met you a few years ago. I've been doing this for 2 years straight, and I've amassed 400 listeners. I don't call people followers. I've amassed 400 listeners on all
Mm-hmm.
social media platforms. And I'll tell you something. Out of those 200 years, out of those 2 years and 400 listeners, there's only been 7 men that reached out to me. Okay.
Really.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah. And out of those 7, 6 were black, 1 was white. And out of those, 1 was from Lebanon. Okay. And out of those 7 men, 4 are consistent. And of those 4, 3 are 35 years and under 40. They're all under 40 except 1. And the one that's not under 40, he's from Lebanon. He's not even a black man. The 3
Mm-hmm.
black men that are consistent are under 40. So what does
Mm-hmm.
that tell you? 40 years and up, 40-year-old black men and up, for whatever reason, they don't understand me.
Wow.
Okay? As a understanding and a good man now. They can be. Why don't they understand me? Because I'm telling on Leon and I'm too much of a mirror to them. So this is why,
That's right. That's
right.
right.
This is why I do it. This is why you asked me why and how. How? Because my ex-girlfriend told me that God said you need to do this. I didn't choose to do these videos. I would have never done these videos. I was too afraid. I was a punk. I wasn't ready to be transparent and vulnerable. No. But a woman, the same people that I hurt are the same people that will get me together.
Wow. So, you said a whole lot right there. A woman told you to do this. Your
Yeah.
ex-girlfriend told you that God is unctioning you to
Mm,
to move forward with this,
mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
said you touch lives, you change lives across the globe more than that may even comment, more than that would even say. Because even with the women that I empower with Women of Treasure, they love you. They always talk about you. You were my special guest for my conference, and you just impact them in such a great way. Because when a man speaks about another man within himself, now you're not talking about this man or that man, you're not bashing men, but you're talking about your own experiences. When a woman hear a man be so transparent with his own experiences and say where he's been, just like my mentor and Pastor Bishop R.C. Blake's very transparent.
Mhm.
He's telling the women, right? So when you say all the other men that are black men that may not really want to acknowledge it and admit it, because you're talking about them, right? You're
Yeah.
causing them to see themselves. They see who you are. They see the man in the mirror, right? You're removing some layers off of them, so now they take it as though you're throwing them out there.
They're just like Mary J. They're just like me. Only thing I'm not doing is calling out their name. I
Yeah,
know who they are,
yeah,
right? If I could,
right.
And some of them are ex-military, so I can walk them right to the VA hospital and get them a psychiatrist, and they can have therapy and get diagnosed and understand. Not only do I understand women, I understand Leon. I understand why I was promiscuous. I understand why I was addicted to porn in my 30s and 40s. I understand why I cheated. I understand now. I didn't have to cheat, it was a choice. I created this person at 11 years old. The guy you're seeing now that did 32 years in the Navy, I started creating him at 9. At 9, I knew I was going to the military. Okay. At
Mhm.
10, 11, and 12, my uncle was touching me. So I developed anger issues. I developed a will to want to kill people, a person. Okay.
Mhm.
At 8 years old, I developed a lust for women from watching porn. Okay. At 8 years old, I lost my virginity to a woman that was 7 years older than me. So you mean to tell me by the time I turn 11, when my parents get divorced and we lose our house, I'm going to wind up to be okay in life? It is not going to happen because I
Mhm.
developed traits that weren't conducive to be in a healthy relationship. I developed traits to be in an unhealthy relationship. Porn, early sex, being molested, lose my parents, losing our house, family being broken up. So you really think I want to have a family later on in life? It could have been 30 years from then. But at 11 years old, my mind was made up, Mary. It was made up. And
At
then,
11 years old, Leon.
yeah, I knew I can go back and tell you in 1976, I know where I was when it happened. I was in front of our house. I just graduated from 6th grade. So I have a vision, a clear vision. I have a vision of my mom being beat up. I have a vision of losing our house. I have a vision of coming home from 6th grade graduation and our furniture on the front lawn. You really think turn out to want to be a family man based on that? You think I want to have kids?
Yeah.
So then what happens? I'm opened up to the streets. I'm opened up to gangsters, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Thugs, fighters, womanizers, prostitutes. At 15, I had my first prostitute. You really think I'm gonna stop? Because this is why I become. Now I'm not being bullied anymore. Now I'm not being beat up. Now I'm bullying people. Now by the time I was 15, 5 women had controlled me. And at 15, I had a woman that was 28 and she was a prostitute. So how am I going to see women from 15 years old on? You think I'm going to see them as being my wife, being nice to me?
Yeah.
No, they
That's
abused me. They controlled me. They dominated me. They beat me up. Not physically, but they beat my mind and my heart up and my soul. So what do you think I'm going to turn into? I
mhm.
could have turned into a rapist, but I'm not. I could have turned into a child molester, but I'm not. I turned into a womanizer. I turned into an abuser. I turned into a narcissist. I developed
So,
everything that narcissist people do. I
mhm.
developed. That's why if you read up on it, it'll tell you it starts in the childhood, Mary.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. I've read articles about it, and I've watched you, I've heard you, and those same character traits that you speak about. We can relate that to other people that we know or other people that have crossed our
Exactly.
path. Yeah. The only difference is that you're actually speaking out about it, and they have not been clinically diagnosed, right? So many
There you
times,
go.
yeah, that's it. That's the only difference. So when you're talking about not wanting these things, not wanting to be a family man, not wanting to settle down with one woman, and particularly over the years, of where are all the good men, understanding that where are the understanding men, where are the compassionate men? They're there, right? Aren't they
Yeah.
there?
So the thing is, they're there, Mary, but the roles in black men and black women are not clearly defined.
Come on, talk about it, Leon.
Okay. The roles are there, but so for instance, I can look at you and say, she's a feminine woman. She's married or wants to be married. She's a nurturer, right?
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do with that? What am I going to do with Mary J? Well, I understand Leon. I understand Leon was a cheater. Leon was an abuser. Leon was a liar. Leon was a deceiver. I get it. I got it. I don't want to be that anymore. Leon, do you want to do that anymore? No. Why not? Well, this because this, and this. So Mary J, this is who Leon is. When I meet women now, when I start dating again, I got to be open and honest. I was never open and honest in the beginning. I lied, but the roles have to be clearly defined and we have to understand each other. We have to understand each other's past. Right now, black people don't have a common ground. We're fighting. All you gotta do is look on social media. They got all of these talk shows, they got these relationships gurus, they got all this stuff out there. But if you look on stage, the black men over here and the black women over here, they're not up there hugged up. You don't see it. You don't see shows on YouTube where white people are bashing each other. You don't see that. You don't see Asian people bashing each other. You don't even see Latin people bash each other. Latin people show more love to their women than black men show to black women. They do. And then when I say it, it's a problem. You know why I say it? Because I was one of those black men that didn't show enough love to black women. And was one of those black men that saw Latin men show love to their Latin women. Although Latin men are very possessive and jealous, they show love to their women. Okay, so they give them their women. They have a fair chance to be mothers, to be wives, to be nurturers. Women don't want to be masculine.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
but if they got somebody in their household or in their relation or in their life that's not masculine, then she's got to take over the role and be this and be that to fix the household, to right everything. And then
Mm-hmm.
she's going to become masculine and say, you know what, you're not doing this. Then she becomes upset, becomes angry. But guess what? I know they were talking about Kevin Samuels a long time ago, years ago, but they say black women are the ones that are divorcing and stuff like this and leaving and breaking up their homes. There's numbers in that, yeah, but I don't believe that. You know what, Mary J? I've never had a bad woman in my life, ever. I'll be 58 years old in October. I've never, and I've slept with and dated a lot of women. I've never had a bad woman. You know why? Because I knew how to motivate them to be able to want to take care of me. Although I had my own. I knew how to motivate them to be feminine, to be women, to be loving, to be caring. Although I was being very manipulative, they were still feminine women. I did have a masculine woman one time, but guess what? Within a
Mm-hmm.
short period of time, she was feminine as hell because I brought that out of her. I know what to do. I don't
That's
look at a woman. I don't look at a woman and say, "You need to be submissive. You need to be docile. You need to be subservient. You need to be cooking me bacon, egg, and cheese in the mornings. You need to be on your knees, giving me whatever when I walk through the door." Women are human beings. I'm only here in life because of a woman, my mother. Women
mm-hmm.
develop the placenta, the umbilical cord. They hold us for 9, 10 months and then produce a young man. After that, it's up to us to do what we need to do to follow the nurturing. I didn't do that. I didn't follow the nurturing of my mother. I lost my mother, so I was lost. I became overbearing in all of my relationships and all of my conversations. I became narcissistic. So, women, if you want a good woman, be a good man. I had good women, and I wasn't even a good man, but they were still women. So this masculine, you too masculine, man, she too masculine. Motivated to be feminist. It's in there. It's in
That's
her.
real.
It's in her DNA.
That's real good, Leon, because I talk to women, and this is some of the things that I say, and I say it to men too, because I just had an old friend of mine that I spoke with just a little bit some time ago, maybe about a month ago, and he said to me, he said, "I've always seen you as an independent woman, right?" And what I said to him was, "Yeah, you did, but I'm learning now to be more interdependent, right?"
Hmm.
What when men see strong women as myself, one thing that I say to men and to women too, a woman that is strong, really really strong, is because she doesn't have any other choice but to be strong,
Right.
right? I grew up with six brothers. My parents are still married today, and all of us are from the same two people in the union, I have six brothers and one sister. So now, when we look at the characteristic traits of a strong woman, just as myself, growing up with six brothers, so they were tough. I didn't have my sister and I are 6 years apart, so she was like the second child, and I was the sixth child. So we weren't as close coming up. So what I saw my brothers do, the things that I saw them do, what I heard them say, and how women they were crazy about my brothers. They just flocked to them. So coming up, being around boys, a carpenter's daughter, and growing up with them, I learned to, I played ball, I ran track, I did sports and that sort of thing. And then I got married very, very young and went through a whole lot of abuse during the course of my marriage. So now you have this same woman who is yet tender, yet feminine, but still have to be strong. You know why she had to be strong? Because she learned how to rely on herself.
Right.
She learned that she needed to only trust her word, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so when we hear about strong, independent women, it doesn't mean that they want to be in charge. It doesn't mean that they want to be controlling and empowering. It means that they had to be strong because they had to rely on themselves to carry the weight to get the things done. But now when we come across real strong, independent men, a strong woman that knows her worth, knows her value, knows who she is, does not mind taking off her cape, taking off her Wonder Woman cape, putting those briefcase and those stilettos down to the side and just relaxing, right?
Right.
Letting it all go. So when I talked to that young man, he said, I always seen you as an independent woman, you know. But I'm learning to be more interdependent because just as you said something that really got my attention, and we're going to talk about that. You said you may die alone. Why is that? Why is that? Where you are right now, in tune with yourself, knowing who you are, knowing the things that you've gone through, being able to understand who you are and identify the person that you have become, and really understanding women. So why is it now that you're at this place and you're not married? Um, do you have any thoughts about marriage? Do you have any thoughts about wanting to be in a relationship with someone now and believing that it can work? Because I know your past, the things that you saw, why would you want that? That's not something you wanted because it always ended up in defeat. So where are you now at this place and why wouldn't you not want that now?
Right. So just because I went through therapy and I understand Leon now doesn't mean I'm free. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I may be free of my mischievous ways from years ago. I may not be. I still have triggers, but I know one thing: I don't want to cheat anymore. I know that for a fact. There was times where I was always like, "I'm a cheat." Cheating was no big deal to me. I had a lot of heart and courage and nerve to do it, but now it's like I know. I look back on my how did I do that? But anyway, I just can't say, well, I'm vulnerable now. I'm transparent. I've been through therapy. I understand me now. I understand my mom. I understand women. Um, God's going to send me a woman tomorrow, next week. No, I got to pay my debt to society. All those years I put in work of hurting women, of being dysfunctional, misleading, 30 plus years, it don't just go away just because you finished therapy. It don't
Right.
go away because now you're reading the Bible. It'll, you know what? First time in my life, a few months ago, I called a man, my pastor, R.C. Blake. First time I ever said, "That's Pastor Blake's my pastor."
Mm-hmm.
First time ever. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
ever. Um, and so it's building blocks to this, just like it was
Yes,
building blocks to become narcissistic. Guess what? You got to unbuild those blocks too. It's part of
that's good.
demolition. Yeah, it's part of demolition. So my demolition can take 30 years. I may not ever get married again. I want to. I want a good woman. I do. Another good woman, because I never had bad women. The women that I selected were smokers and drinkers and fighters and sexers. I selected them because that's who I was. That was my comfort level. I didn't want to be with a strong woman that was spiritual and dynamic and virtuous and vivacious. I didn't want that. I was like, it's too much for me. It's too much work. You too pure. I want a little demon. you know?
Not a
I'm being
little
honest.
devil.
I
Not
wanted a
a
little
little
devil.
devil, Leon.
Mary J, look, I wanted a little devil, so that's what I was getting. But I you know, if it happens, if I die alone, I die alone. I don't want to, but I'm prepared for a good woman. Before, I was never prepared for a good woman.
Okay, so you're prepared now for a good woman. And so there are, as we talked about, you've always had a good woman in your life.
Hmm.
You just
Always,
always had a good woman, and
always.
that's oftentimes that men do have good women, but they're not in that good space to be able to recognize and identify that good woman. I just had a young man that was on, and I believe he may be still watching, Anthony Jones, that is watching, that said, sometimes that may be a good man, but the woman is not able to, and I'm paraphrasing, not able to recognize him being a good man because she's not in that, maybe he wasn't in the right space at the time, or she wasn't in the right space at the time.
Well,
But
how
I
do we get to that though? The thing is,
yeah.
but Mary J, the thing we don't do is say, okay, I'm not. Hey, my name is Leon, and I'm not in a good place. And so people gonna laugh, and they're gonna be like, well, so, but how do I get to a good place? Okay, maybe Leon, you want to check into therapy. And again, guess what? As a black man, I ain't going to no doggone therapy. You crazy? You tripping? That's exactly what happens. And then that good woman goes
Mhm.
on to be a wife for somebody else, and she's not happy because you know why? She had that chemistry with me.
Yeah.
Or that
Yeah.
good man, or the good man leaves her and he goes and finds somebody else because the woman was a Leon and she didn't get help to correct her deficiencies until she's in her 40s. And here we are, me at 58, talking about my personality disorder. So I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off, but we
No,
got to
no.
get to that. We don't get to that. And so what happens is two good people that really like each other go separate ways. But again, guess what they start to, because you've been with a guy before that you really felt that dude, and then you've been with a guy that you like, I'm gonna stay with him because he's a good dude. But this
Mhm.
dude, you really feel this dude. You got chemistry. You got tonic, not toxic. You got tonic with this dude, but not you. But then what happens is they go their separate ways and they wind up cheating because they get pulled back by that emotional chemistry that they have with that person, but they don't have it with this person who's a good person. And then the women they come back, or the men come back to that toxic person that they have that sexual chemistry with, and it's just intoxicating. The dopamine is being released when you get with them. Your heart flutters, right? Your palms sweat, and you kiss, and it's like, oh, I cheated on a good person.
Mhm.
That was me too.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. This is really good stuff, sharing and being so transparent and letting really the men know too, as well as the women, that you have to be able to understand, come from a place of understanding, knowing where you are, and being upfront, being truthful, Leon. And I'm sure that there has been women that you have been transparent with, truthful with, upfront with, and they feel that it's okay, that they'll be able to change who you are.
Well, yeah, so no. Most 98% of the time I wasn't upfront and truthful and transparent. If I
No, I'm
was,
talking about now. I'm talking
oh
about
yeah.
now.
Now,
Hmm.
yeah, now I don't want no smoke. I don't want no drama. I don't want no fights. I don't want women fighting over me. Before Mary J, I was all about that. That like stroked my ego when women fighting on me and chasing me and all this other stuff. Now it's like, look, this is who I am. It's not take it or leave it. I don't say that because women, I trigger women not on purpose, and I scare women not on purpose because they're like, yeah, you just another phone call away from going back to doing what you used to do, or Leon, you demonic, you need to rot in hell. I get all kind of stuff. I get called names. I get all kind of stuff, but I
Hmm.
understand it because that's who I was.
So how do women move forward and past relationships of brokenness, and being able to really find a man of good character, of good qualities? What is it, some of the things that they should be looking for, and tell us
Well,
what are
yeah.
some of
So
the things that
a
they
lot
should
of
know?
times you all attracted to the 6'3", 220 pound, good looking guy with big hands and big feet, a nice job, a nice car, great credit score, but he's a whore.
That's good.
So I'm not saying
That's good.
lower your standards. I'm not saying don't stop. You can't help yourself from liking somebody that looks good, but you got to look at their character and integrity and morals and standards. Do they keep their word? Right? Are they working? Do they live with their mother? How do they feel about their mother? Do they have a relationship with their parents, their kids? Why did they get divorced? Why did they break up? All these things I have to answer,
Yeah.
you know? And it's out there now. Talk about my mother, talk about my father, talk about my divorce, you know? Um, you have to dig deeper into this person's past. Psychologists say you shouldn't ask about a person's past, but I don't believe in that. I think you should, because I've
Really?
hid a lot. Yeah, they say, I read that. I've hidden a lot of my past, a lot about my mother, because if a woman knew about my mother or about my dad, they look at me like, I don't know, Leon. So I hid that. You can't hide
Mhm.
your parents, but I just never wanted to talk about them because I know it would come out that my dad was alcoholic. He was extreme. He was mean. My dad was verbally abusive, but I love my father. He was a great dad. But I too have those traits. My mother
Yeah.
had a very addictive personality. Um, she was very misleading at times. She's very uh, off-putting. She lacked empathy. There was no love there. My mother, she loved us, but after she started getting high, I say after we lost our house when I was 11, the love was still there, but it started to fade when she started getting close to getting high. So you need to know what's in this person's past, not just the past, but their genetics and DNA. What's going to come up?
I
What you
think that's
think?
important. Yeah. I remember dating a guy, getting to know this guy, pretty much of some of the character traits that I'm not into the big hands, big feet kind of thing or any of that, but I do have, I must say that I have a height phobia, because there was a time that I dated someone that was short. And I felt that he was so insecure that he just was just really draining, right? Always insecure, very jealous, very controlling. Now, what I did, and I'm talking about past stuff, I started comparing him to everybody else. And I started saying, see, that's why I shouldn't have dated a short guy. That's why I can't be with no short man, because they have that little, Napoleon syndrome. They're short and they're insecure and they're this and that. So I really, really did not want to date anybody that was short. This is the God honest truth. And then I went back to saying that's what I like. I like a taller man, a man that's more confident. Because of my experiences, men that were taller for me, the men that I dated that were tall, they didn't have those insecurity issues. All right. And
Right,
so I'm showing the dynamics of our paradigm and
right,
and how we think and how we relate to things, right? And so this same person that was very charismatic, I really believe he loved the Lord. He was good looking, he was well versed, well cultured, well spoken. But when I started asking him, and this was at the beginning of me getting to know him, I think I lost you for a minute. At the beginning of me getting to know him, Dion, I began to ask him about his past. I asked him about his childhood. I asked him about his upbringing. I asked him about his mom and dad. And then I asked him about his previous relationship prior to meeting me. And he did not want to talk about any of it.
right. That was
Oh,
exposing him.
good looking, intelligent, very well spoken, very well dressed, well rounded. I felt comfortable with him. I can bring him into any setting and he fit in. Did not want to talk about his past, his parents, anything. And so he kept telling me, we're going to talk about that. Or I don't want to talk about that right now. I don't feel like talking about that right now. I want to get to know you and this and that. And so I kept that in the forefront of my mind. Like, why isn't he always deflecting from the conversation? Why is he never wanting to talk about, because I would talk about my background and where I come from and the experiences I had, but he was never willing to do that. And when he did not do that, I put that guard up. I realized this is not somebody that I want to really get to know, really get to go any further with, because he's not even willing to share history with me, to talk about where it is that he came from. So I always kept that in the forefront. And he never was able to understand why the relationship didn't go anywhere, why I always was guarded. For a long time he didn't even know where I lived, and he felt that suspicious to him why I didn't want to tell him where I live, because I felt guarded. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
I felt
right.
guarded at that time. No. So what you're saying as relates to a person not opening up, we have to ask the right questions. We have to be able to ask the right questions
You
to
have
to
to.
listen in.
Hmm.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing all of what you've shared, Leon. Is there any closing words that you would like to share with our listening audience as well?
Yeah. Start talking about and looking for people's white flags.
Mm,
All we hear all our life, we've been here red flags. What has your Leon surrendered? Right? What has he given up?
wow, that's good.
Has he given up being verbally abusive? Has he given up cheating? Right? Has he given up his narcissistic traits? Does he know what his narcissistic traits are? Right? Has he given up being abusive? Has he given up just wanting to quit on a relationship? Look at those things, and talk to people. Everybody needs some form of therapy. We do. I didn't
Mhm.
get therapy until I was 46 years old. So imagine when I'll tell you this, Mary, when I was in 2018, I got my final diagnosis from severe PTSD. My PTSD started in 1987 when I was 22. They didn't find it until 2018. Okay. What's it,
Mm,
almost 27 years later?
yeah,
How much damage did I do to myself and other people in that relationship because of my severe PTSD? They found my narcissism. How much damage did I do because of that? But
mm-hmm.
PTSD, most people with narcissistic traits have PTSD. Had I gotten into therapy sooner, I could have gotten treated sooner for PTSD. Narcissism is talk therapy. PTSD, there's pills because there's sleep apnea, there's depression, there's anxiety. All these things rolled into one. I was never treated for anything until 2018.
Wow,
So going back to what you said, leaving some nuggets for people, go get therapy, sit down, try it out. Sit
good.
on the couch for an hour for a month or two. There's no certain period of time where you have to, it's going to be 3 months or it's going to be a year. You just go and learn about your past, learn about your parents. I learned a lot about my parents. I learned more about my parents and their death in therapy as opposed to when they were living.
Mm, I can believe that. That's good stuff. I actually did not get therapy until I was about 45, I believe myself.
Hmm.
About 44, 45. And I'm gonna tell you, and when I went to therapy, the very first day that I went there, I was very guarded, very closed in,
I
because
was too.
I don't want this person knowing my business. I don't know who this person knows and what they would share. And I know it's all confidentiality and all, because even with me being a pastor and people coming to me and sharing their truth with me, it's confidential and I don't share it. But then I was wondering if this person knows somebody that may know somebody that may know me, right? All
Hmm.
of that, very, very guarded, very guarded. And then I thought to myself that I think the next session I had, I said, Mary J, why are you going? Right? Why are you really going if you're not willing to share? How is this person really going to help you? Because I tell people all the time that come to me, I'm not going to be able to help you if there's things that you are withholding from me. I can only, give you advice based on what you tell me, just like when you go to any doctor. Based on the symptoms that you have, that you tell them, is how they can diagnose you and give you the proper treatment.
Period.
Right. So I tell you, by the third day that I was there, I was stripped of self. I went through layers of childhood trauma that was there, coming out of my first marriage, of abuse and stuff that I never talked about, never told anybody about. Went through all of that, and I mean, I broke down in that lady's office, crying my eyes out. Went over the session, went over the allotted time, and
That's when you started changing.
yeah, her next client was waiting and I was still there,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
then looking forward for the following week to go back. Couldn't wait till the day come around to go back.
exactly.
Talk
I
some
did.
more.
I experienced all of that, and that's why I
Yeah.
stayed. I was like, I failed therapy twice, and these were one was a psychiatrist and one was a psychotherapist. I was very disrespectful to them. I didn't even know what a psychotherapist was, and she was like, "Well, you can leave. You don't have to stay." I'm like, "I'm out. Yeah, I ain't coming back."
Mm-hmm.
See, in the military, when you fail therapy, they inform your job, so you're held accountable. In the civilian world, you can walk out. They don't care if you come back or not. They're gonna still get paid.
Yeah. Yeah. This is really good stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are some good men. We asked the question, Leon, on today, where are all the good men? And I want to say that the good men are there. The good men are there. The good men may be caught up into going through therapy. I had some man say the other day on my show, some good men, Mary J, the men of honor may come across as boring. They don't need all the extra stuff. They don't need all of that extra. They may be boring. So a lot of times we may not be looking for the right thing. Like I told you, I was looking for tall, right? Because short, I thought short men was just insecure, but they're tall, insecure men too.
They're tall, abusive men too.
Exactly. So, but thank you for sharing so much of wealth of information and being so transparent on the show, Leon, and just letting us know about the white flags. Some of the white flags that we talk about, those red flags. That's
Those are your
good.
good men. The good men have white flags.
White flags. The good men have the white flags. And tell us,
That's the topic for your next show.
yeah, tell us what are some of those white flags again. Just go over a few of
Mary
them.
J, we don't talk about that. I'm gonna do a video about it, but I would like you to, if you could do a show one day about that.
I'll
We
bring
don't
you
talk
back
about
on. I'll bring
Yeah,
you back on for
yeah.
that because I know you're writing another book, and I know
Mhm,
some of that is in the chapters of your book, right?
mhm. Right.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna come back on and talk about some of those white flags that we should be looking for. So thank you, Leon, for coming on, sharing with us. Did you have a happy Merry Monday today?
Yes, thank you for having me as always. I enjoy talking with you.
I enjoy having you to come on too. Thank you for sharing with us. Happy
All
Merry
right.
Monday,
Happy
everybody.
Monday, y'all. Bye bye.